Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I got a very exciting one to show y'all today. We are going to be reviewing the Unbound Knives Custom Spade. He sent this in to the channel for me to review and I couldn't be more excited. The man behind Unbound Knives is Nick Rusev. He is an industrial designer and full-time knife maker. That is pretty impressive, I gotta say. And this is coming all the way from Sofia, Bulgaria. He sold his first knife in 2017 and hasn't stopped since. He told me he enjoys modern looking knives that can be used as EDC knives. And all the attributes that he loves to do with his knives are things I always look for. He loves thin, hollow grinds, and he likes to focus on the cutting geometry, ++. He prefers higher hardness and edge retention, ++. If you don't follow him on Instagram, do yourself a favor, go check out his Instagram. He's got over 40 unique designs and he can make just about anything. He's a custom maker. He even made this one a little bit different than it normally was just because I wanted it a little different and he obliged. This definitely won't be my last if I can help it. He heat treats his own blades using liquid nitrogen for all stainless steels, strictly follows the steel manufacturer's protocols, and he works with pretty much every modern steel you can think of. He works with MagnaCut, LMAX, ABL, M390, N690, etc. Like you name it, he'll work with it. I'm sure as long as he can get his hands on it. And currently he has over 1,000 knives made, mainly for customers here in the US. That doesn't surprise me. This is his custom spade model. Look at this beautiful leather sheath. And I'm not usually a leather sheath fan unless I can clip it to my pocket. You got this beautiful green leather. Look at the tooling right here. You got nice double stitching here all the way around. Burnished all the edges. Very, very well done. His attention to detail is very, very nice. There's his logo right there, Unbound Knives, and he knows the way to my heart. He's got the ulti clip here, and this thing carries fantastic. You know, it's a little thicker because it's leather, but I'm okay with that. As you can see, he's got a lanyard here, and this stuff glows in the dark. This is the same material as the scales. Another thing I love about this sheath is this ambidextrous sheath. You can put it in both ways. Anytime you see like these squared off sheaths like that, that means you can flip them usually. And it's a perfect amount of retention to where it's not too loose and I can get it in and out of the pocket nicely. He's got nice and thick 3mm leather right there, and it's natural veg tan leather. So here is the absolute work of art. Another thing that I like about Unbound Knives, so with your knife, your certificate of authenticity has everything you'd want to know. You have your model name, custom spade, dimensions. This one's 6.5 inches with a 3-inch blade. Blade steel is LMAX. And then this is the micarta that he uses, leather. And then check this out, heat treat protocol. I've never seen this before. Besides maybe like I've seen hardness, but not the whole protocol. So he tests every single one of his knives. This one is at 62. That's exactly where you want LMAX to be for max edge retention there. He uses air for quenching, cryo because it's stainless, yes. And he even gives you his tempering cycles right here. That's so cool. Very, very impressive. You can tell everything that he does, he goes the extra mile, and that's what you want. You're spending good money on a fixed blade. You want that, you know, and I think he's very reasonable priced. I couldn't give you the exact price on this because he didn't say the exact price on it, but I think there was one that was kind of similar. Don't quote me on this, like 230 bucks. That's fantastic. So like I said a little while ago, 6.5 inches total with a 3-inch, as you can see, spear point, or you call it drop point, whatever you want, but it's more of a spear point blade or a spade blade, whatever you want to call it. Your blade finish on this is nice and reflective because he does a hand rub satin finish up to 1200 grit. Then after he does that beautiful finish, he puts a nice stone wash finish. So look at that. You get a beautiful reflective finish in there. You have your blade steel here. And you have his really cool logo on this side, Unbound Knives Bulgaria. That is some perfection on that jimping, nice fine cut jimping. Your thumb's not going anywhere. If you dig into that, you're locked in. And boy, does he know the way to my heart. He started out with nice and thin blade stock at 0.098. Excellent, because right at that, that's like in the Benchmade bug out territory. So even just that thin blade stock and not even thin grind, it should slice fairly well because you're not going to have a wedge effect with the steel. Then he's got a 20-inch hollow grind on here. So that means that it's a big old hollow grind wheel. So it's able to dish out from here all the way down. And the beauty on that, you have a super thin behind the edge thickness at around 11 thousandths behind the edge. And I was measuring with my calipers, and I was about right there. Hold on. Now this is the beauty of a hollow grind. Like I said, it's about 11 to 12 thousandths behind the edge, right behind the edge. But watch this. Let's go to about, let's see, about right there. Yeah. Check this out. 20 thousandths, and that's over a 1/4 inch up the blade. If you go down just a little bit, 17 thousandths. Then right there, look, you go that far, 15 thousandths behind the edge. 15 thousandths. That is amazing. Most companies don't even start there. So I'll be able to sharpen this one probably the life of the knife before this thing will even think about getting thick on me. Plus, a lot of times when I hear people talking about not liking hollow grinds, is because they're like, oh, it's going to come to full thickness, you know, up there at the front. Even though this one does come to a full thickness, but it's way up there. I don't even know if you could see it because it kind of blended in. You can kind of see where this comes around right there, but it's almost all the way to the very top. But even if it wasn't, that's thin blade stock. You don't even notice that. So excellent blade geometry, great heat treatment. I think it's time we see how this one performs. Man, I knew this one was going to be a great slicer. It's got such a thin, tall, hollow grind. It's got a custom heat treat on it. But I gotta say, it's knives like this and that Steve Kalari Huck that I tested recently that just kind of, it ruins the other knives for me, because after I test knives like this one and Steve's, and you go back to testing regular production knives, they feel like garbage. I mean, because they don't slice as good. They don't hold an edge half as good. I mean, the closest you're gonna get, or that I test, is maybe Spyderco or Chris Reeve. But Chris Reeve doesn't grind them thin like these. Spyderco doesn't even grind them this thin. I mean, they have a couple models that are nice and thin, but not as thin as what Steve does, what Unbound Knives does. But yeah, this one is very, very comfortable in hand. The thickness is perfection. I told him how long I wanted this handle, so of course it's perfect for my hand. And yeah, that hollow grind, once again, I was trying to like lightly push into the wood because it wanted to bite into it really fast, really deep. And I didn't want to go overly hard because it's got a thin hollow on it. You know, you could warp your edge if you pressed hard enough. I don't think I could have with this one, but you know, whatever. Now, I'm glad this knife was as sharp as it was and was as thin as it was, because this was like the 3/4 of the way finished with this 1/2 inch sisal rope. And man, I probably edit most of the hard spots out, but you would, if I would have left them in, you'd see me trying to loosen up this rope a little bit, because the glue is just, it's like in the middle. It's hard to explain. God, I guess I'm gonna just bite the bullet and go try to find somewhere else that isn't like this, because it just throws me off big time. Like, if you'd have to know, you'd have to do these tests all the time to know what I'm talking about, because I do these so I can get an understanding of the knife, how it cuts, how it feels while cutting, how it performs during certain tests. And you know, the sisal rope definitely gives you a lot of feedback on the blade and the geometry and the blade shape. You know, if you have too little belly, it's hard to get through this. If you have too much belly, you're only getting a certain portion of it. Well, whenever this test is messed up by having all this stupid glue in it, it really messes with things. So I guess I'm just gonna have to go ahead and buy it, chunk this one maybe, and go buy some more. Oh, but yeah, this one is just scalpel. I cut extra of a lot of stuff because it was just going through it like a hot knife through butter. Perfect amount of blade there. You got a wider blade, so you know it's going to be a while before it gets thick. I think I measured it like a 1/4 inch up the blade, and it was still like 15 thousandths or something like that. Something crazy like that. Even with all those hard glue spots, still great. Man, I think the last time I got this excited when I was testing a knife was from my good friend Steve Kalari's Custom Steadfast, or the Arc and Iron Abram, because they're laser beams, just like this one. He hand sharpens these, and it even has an 18 degrees per side edge bevel on it. Everything I did, absolute joy to test and use. And I got to check it out because it feels stupid sharp still. Let's see. Damn it. Absolutely no edge damage. God, dog. Now, of course, it's not as sharp as it was when it first started. Not my fault. It's not as sharp as it was when I first started. Obviously, no knife I've ever tested was the same sharpness after I did all the testing. But this it has no edge damage. No edge damage whatsoever. And the beauty of a custom heat treat on a knife, at least the ones that I have, the makers I have, is the steel responds to strops and hones and any kind of honing type of thing, and sharpening. It responds so much better. It's a lot easier because they're usually the high hardness. I find it a lot easier to sharpen unless it's like, you know, Rex 121. It's still easy. It just takes a little bit longer. But yeah, fantastic job. Spot on with the heat treat. You know, that's probably some of the better LMAX I've ever tested. I don't think I have any other ones that are this good. When it came to the ergos, while testing this one, absolutely fantastic. The thickness, perfect for my hands. 0.65. I love seeing 0.6 or better for my fixed blades. They fill out the hand perfectly for me, for my medium-sized hands, and it just makes the knife so much more hand-feeling and so much more comfortable. The more chances that the knife can spin around in the hand, the tighter you're going to grip it, the faster you're going to wear out your wrists and forearms because you're holding it tighter. These wild micarta scales are custom micarta scales coming from, I think it's Emil Epoxy Lab from Poland. And I picked this. You know, he does pretty much every material you can think of. Look at the layers on there. Hopefully it's not going to glare it out, but look at the contouring. Look how perfectly rounded over it is. I love the different uses of materials. Still offers good traction. Everything's perfectly mated. You can see these are perfectly lined up. The scales are completely flush. There's no high spots whatsoever. Very, very well done. I like how he did the angled chamfers here because I can grab it like this in the pinch grip, and whenever I'm pulling back, I got something to hold on to. It's the attention to details on a custom that I love to see. I don't know if you can see this, but he even put a chamfer right here and right here so you wouldn't have sharp points from where this intersection came. You have beautiful. Look how big those fasteners are, and look how crisp. Those are fluorescent stainless steel Torx T20 fasteners. Yes! They're perfectly countersunk in there. So if for some reason you need to take these scales off, you could easily do so. I had absolutely no issues with these scales coming loose on me. And whenever I'm pushing into wood and stuff like that, I'm gripping on these really hard. I tried to make things like that happen because, you know, if it's going to happen by gripping it really hard, it's going to happen over a period of time anyway. So, you know, I'm trying to do that as best I can, but not so on this one. Of course, full tank construction. We just now looked at that. The entire package is just well thought out. And like I said, just go look at his Instagram. Every knife, in my opinion, is just stunning. He really knows how to put different materials together to make the whole ensemble. I love that blade finish. I think it goes perfect with the scale choice I chose. The weight on this thing is perfection. Now, the balance point is going to be back because of the lanyard and bead, but it's so well balanced in my hand like this because it's a smaller knife that doesn't bother me. I like the lanyard there just in case I want to grab back on it for some reason. I could do that, and I can easily take it off if I want to, but I think it completes the package. Especially, I like the lanyards, especially for whenever I'm pocket carrying these. When it comes to carry, I've been carrying this one every day that I could. You know, I did have a couple of days where I had to carry an extra folder because I was getting ready for the review, but this one carries so nicely. Look, it's in the pocket right now. I usually wear longer shirts. Always got these lightweight shorts on because that's all I can really wear. And see what I'm talking about? The lanyard sticks out just a little bit, so whenever I want to grab this knife, I don't have to, you know, try to feel for the butt of the knife. All I have to do is literally I pull my hand back, and then there you go. I got the knife and use it. That's what I said. It's got the perfect retention. And then if I want, y'all can't see this, but if I want, being that it's open perfectly, I don't have to even push it up like I do with my Kydex sheaths, and there it goes. It's in there. It's not weighing me down. The form factor on it is really nicely. Yeah, all in all, I give this sheath a 10 out of 10. The weight on this one with the sheath and your bead comes in at 6.08 ounces. And that's perfect for my EDC fixies. I don't mind that at all. And the weight on the fixed blade alone is either 92 grams or 3.24 ounces. Fantastic. At least in my opinion. You know, your mileage may vary. You may like them under 2 ounces. I don't know. But for me, as long as it carries well and it feels nice and balanced in the hand, that's what I am typically looking for. And this one does that perfectly. Now for some quick size comparisons. It's in the middle, the SE Azula 2 and the SE Azula 1. And here it is next to the Terra knives. I think this is the Hiker. This is 3-inch bladed version. And it's just about identical in length to a Kaiser Smolt. And it's just a hair shorter than the BMKT Field Spec EDC. And it's very similar in overall length to the Kaiser Mini Harpoon. And lastly, it's very similar in size to the Schwartz Knives Overland Sport and also the Ranger Knives Fast Pack. Now, being that absolutely no knife's perfect, what are my nitpicking complaints? Now, this is a custom, so, you know, I have to be nitpicky. And the only thing that I could possibly be nitpicky on is the little kick up right here by the sharpening choil. That's the type of sharpening choil I love, and that'll probably go away after I sharpen it up. If not, I could always extend that a little bit more, and that's not hurting the functionality of the knife whatsoever. Other than that, this thing is flawless. It's a fantastic performer. It's ground to perform. It's one of the sliciest knives I've tested in a while. It's the complete package. I gotta say, of all my EDC fixed blades, this one feels the most complete, especially as far as customs go. I have some beautiful fixed blades, don't get me wrong. You know, I love them all, but I really, really hope I can buy one of his other models and have it on the channel for y'all because I love this thing. So if you like EDC fixed blades like I do, good pocket droppers, or, you know, sky's the limit because he's a true custom maker, then do yourself a favor and go check out his Instagram. Just do that at least. If you follow him, if you decide to follow him because of this video, drop him a DM, let him know I sent you. But I promise you, you'll love what you see. And be careful because you're going to end up wanting something, I'll tell you that. Every single one of his designs look awesome. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the Unbound Knives Mini Spade. And like I said, hopefully y'all will see more of his knives on the channel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below and I'll do my best to get back with you. Or if you have any questions for Unbound Knives, you can leave those down below and I will try to direct him to it, but he'll be probably watching this. All right, guys and girls, I hope every one of y'all is having a phenomenal day today. Remember, keep your blade sharp, smile more.